The swirls, the twirls, the elegance. Okir is a distinct decorative motif found in Sulu and Lanao in southern Philippines, Mindanao. Okir or okil-okil means to carve or to sculpt. This form of decorative art finds inspiration from plants, animals, and nature, but elevated them through stylized depictions which are uniquely Okir. The flowing patterns and designs lend itself to the culture and history of two geographic areas in Mindanao, namely Lanao and Sulu. Tausug, Sama and Bajau communities reside mainly in the Sulu archipelago, while Maranaos settled in the province of Lanao del Sur. The Sulu archipelago is believed to be the starting point of the Islamization in Mindanao, and the Maranaos are the last indigenous people of Mindanao to be Islamized. The dominant group in Sulu are the Tausug, who were great craftsmen of weapons and house carvings. The Sama, another ethnic group, pride themselves with their weaving, mats, and coral grave markers. In these three groups of people in Sulu, Okir art may be found in everyday objects such as in sword handles, cooking utensils, and house wall decors. But among them, the Bajaus are prolific in decorating their boats with Okir motifs because Okir and boat buildings are similar to carpentry and woodworking. Okir reached its refinement in the hands of the Maranao or people of the lake, in reference to Lanao Lake. Maranao society developed in semi-isolation because Lanao is located 2,300 feet above sea level and access to the area is very limited and contact with outsiders are far between. Yet here, Okir is so institutionalized that it figures prominently in Maranao cultural artifacts. Okir in Lanao is more stylized, which reflects the complexity and sophistication attained by Maranao society. Thus, Maranao Okir designs may be delineated into several basic elements, with their name recognized by carvers. They combine these components to come up with their Okir compositions. There is also gender in the designs of Maranao Okir. Designs designated as male are more elaborate and curvilinear, while female motifs are simple and geometric. Male motifs are called Okir Adato, and female motifs are called Okir Abay. The basic elemental male motifs include the following. Pako means fern, dapal means leaf, matilak means a circle, todi means fern leaf with a spiral at the upper edge or flower, pakolungat means a fern leaf with a cut at one edge, and many others. The female motifs include Olan-olan means a circle or the moon, Biyangon means rectangle, Pialang means square, Katimbuang means diamond shape, and Onsud means zigzag pattern. There are other patterns that signify animals like the naga, a serpent or a dragon, star-like patterns like the binotoon, and fingernail marks, the kianoko. Other motifs called the tali-tali are used for edgings and borders. By combining these basic elements into a composition, Okir artists can come up with various stylized creations which identify certain nature-based designs. One common composition is the armalis, made by combining the pako, dapal, and putyok. Designs showing vines scrolling horizontally or vertically are called birdo. And using the naga motif in sequence can produce elaborate magayoda. Following the Maranao design principles, Okir design makers consider the following. A. Blank spaces are considered unaesthetic, so they fill all available spaces with the motifs as much as possible. B. Symmetry in the designs are quite impressive, where mirroring is often employed. C. Continuity of a line coming from a central motif is desirable, symbolizing a creeping vine, branches, and tendrils, leaves, and buds. And D. Other motifs have their own uses in composition for borders and can show a design's direction or movement or endings. We are fortunate in this presentation that we are graced by the presence of one of the most prolific Okir art makers in the Philippines today, who goes by the name of Al-Nizar Ali. He hails from General Santos City and is now considered one of the prime movers of Okir art in the country.
Actually, dalawang answers, no. Una, yung personal art making way back, of course, high school days and college days. Pero experimental, of course, as a visual artist, na struggling, naghahanap ka pa ng identity, di ba? And then the types of visual works you wanted to express. And then, ang pangalawa was, kasi bumalik ako sa aming heritage. And then, pumasok yung cultural heritage sa aking forte. At sabi ng mga friends ko na, why not? No? Because it's part of your soul. Why not use it? So, doon nagsimula. No? So, way back, ano na to, no? Nag-work na ako when I really started off na gumamit na ako ng Okir doon sa aking art making, no? As part of my trademark. Okay, Okir as a motif and pattern, he's influenced by the Nusantara, no? Nasuntara meaning the Southeast Asian connection. Most particularly yung tatlong bansa ng Indonesia, Malaysia, and Brunei. And there are also traces of connections sa Thailand, sa Vietnam, sa Laos, sa Myanmar. Kasi ang Okir, nagsimula siya not only as influenced by the patterns from vines and floral and plants, kundi galing din siya sa creatures like the naga and the garuda. In fact, yung influence ng naga also, the serpent, is connected to the Chinese concept of the dragon. So doon, ganun kalawak yung influence ng ating Okir patterns. So if we go to my works, of course si Imaw yung isa sa mga influence ko, ito yung kanyang work. Then of course yung aking unang trabaho. Then dito na ako dito na ako parang ito na yung gagamitin ko, no. So tingnan mo yung aking sarimanok, mostly mga geometric ito. Pero yung may mga embellishments ako dito na coming from old. Kasi ito na yung product ng studies ko sa Okir, no. Then of course, ito yung isa sa pinaka-favorite ko na piece. Makita mo again yung geometric patterns na nilagay ko, and then of course ito the Okir patterns na ginagamit sa kulintang. Another ode ko is nag-play lang ako dito ng mga Okir patterns. And then of course ito yung medyo dito na ako yung na-invite nationally kasi it tells the story about the destruction of the heritage and then the war. So, ito yung mga samples ko ng aking mga trabaho that defines my art making using Okir. Kung if you study all the works that I have, I really incorporated Okir patterns and motif in all of this art making. The potential of the Okir can be bridged from the traditional pattern making into the modern platform, which is digital art, for example, no? Kasi pwede naman, no? Pero yun lang, kinwestiyon ako, no, ng sandamakmak ng mga cultural worker na makakilala ko din na bakit yung traditional, gagawin mo pa siyang i-interpret mo siya into na traditional na siya, accepted na yung form. Sabi ko, oo, nandun tayo. We have to protect it, we have to preserve it. But on the contrary, the patterns also need to be boosted into a different naman na expression. At hindi dapat ipagkait doon sa mga bata, lalo na doon sa mga mahihilig sa visual expression sa buong Pilipinas, to use this pattern as part of their visual art making. Because I think and I believe that these patterns should be represented from time to time so that it would not be extinct. It would not be erased from memory, but magpapatuloy siya. No? Kasi pag tradition at tradition lang, malalamang at the end of the day, mawawala lang siya. Mai-erase lang siya by time. But when you put it into a modern parlance or modern platform, then that is the time that this traditional motif becomes part of the modern heritage of the new audience, the new generations, the future.
How do we make Okir designs? With all the motifs and patterns present in Okir creations, first, we must remember that Okir is meant to be applied to woodworking and or sculpture. However, the artwork always begins with a sketch or design drawn on paper. Here are several activities we can do to start appreciating the making of Okir art. In particular, we will follow the Maranao Okir principles and patterns for starters. Step 1. Select 4 basic elements from Okir Adatu motifs and make 4 paper cutouts of each motif. All cutouts from one basic element should be identical. Step 2. On a dark or contrasting colored paper, and using the cutouts, arrange these basic elements to make a figure similar to a branch or a vine. Remember the principle of continuity when making your design. You may flip, invert, or place the cutouts upside down. Add a stem to signify continuity of the design. Step 3. Take a picture of your work. Okir designs are primarily meant for woodworking and ornaments from brass pieces. The sophistication of designs are more enhanced when the patterns are applied to decorate the panolong, the sidings of the boat houses, the torogan, down to the brass goblets, mirror frames, and bed headboards. Okir is an art form with a lot of potentials in sharing Filipino identity, culture, and craftsmanship. Thank you for watching.